I bet you thought it might never happen, but we are back. Rabbit Hole, sports and media, college football. Moving on to college football 26. I have highlights from the final season on college football 25 if anyone is interested in that, and I start seeing comments about people wanting to see it. I'll put together a little highlight reel of how that season ended. I do have the video, just got caught up in life stuff and didn't get to it in a timely manner, unfortunately. But we are back in time for week 1 of the real 2025 college football season here with another edition of the Sonoma State Dynasty on the latest edition of the game. Looking at the roster here, I recreated the players we had recruited in 2025 and were still on the team, and then combined some names of the original players from the 2025 version on the Dynasty to make up the rest of the guys on the roster. We have lots of seniors. I'll get more into why that is later. But tried to follow a lot of the same strength and weakness patterns that we had developed in the 25 edition of the game. And unlike last year, we will not be starting as the worst team in the game and building up. We will be starting as a Mountain West team instead of a Pac-12 team, but more of a middle-of-the-pack, average-ish program to start things out in the 2026 version of the Sonoma State Dynasty. Looking at the team schedule for year 1, our non-conference, we got UCSB on the road week 0 to start things off, followed by Fresno, then at Texas, then at home versus Sam Houston. Our rivals in this one are going to be UCSB, Fresno, Nevada, and San Jose State. And due to updates in the teambuilder website and all the customization they allow us to do, was able to actually program in those 4 teams as our rivals. So very excited about that. Have names for those games as well. We'll get more into them as we get down the line here in the Dynasty. But very excited that we have 4 realistic-ish rivals for Sonoma State in this one. Looking at the conferences, we are going to be starting in the Mountain West this time. So last time we were in the Pac-12. This time we're going to start in the Mountain West, and that is because I had a promotion-relegation dynamic going in the last one that I am going to do again in this version of the Dynasty. But since we were starting in the Pac-12, they were not a conference affected by that promotion and relegation dynamic, so we will get a chance to play for promotion into the Pac-12 here in year 1 and going forward, because if we get promoted, then we have to finish above the other Mountain West team playing up in order to maintain our status as a Pac-12 team. If we don't, we will move back into the Mountain West. For conference dynamics, doing the same that I did last year. So we got our Super 2, SEC, and Big 10. Best in terms of success and biggest brands, and not much concern for geography. Then we got our Power 4, Big 12. American gets a promotion to a power conference, ACC, and the Pac-12. So solid programs and a stronger geographical base, I would say, for those ones. And then the group of 4, we got the CUSA, the MAC, the Mountain West, and the Sun Belt. Smallest / least successful programs, at least in terms of national success. Plenty of these teams have been successful within their conferences. And then the strongest geographical base surrounding these teams here. So very excited to be getting into this new edition of the Sonoma State Dynasty. Again, I have the footage for how last year ended. It was an awesome ending to the season. Just I really ended up down this rabbit hole of fine-tuning my offensive and defensive philosophies and kind of got lost in doing that, and then have to pay bills. Unfortunately, I don't get paid doing this, so had to take a little break to make some money. But excited to get back to it. So if people want to see the footage for how last season ended, I will do some sort of montage or highlight video to show that off, because it was a lot of really good and fun football. So I would love to show that if people want to see it, but otherwise I'm not going to take up time if people don't want to see how it ended. Looking at week 0, we will be playing in week 0. We open the season on the road at UC Santa Barbara, who killed us in the 2 occasions that we played them in the previous Dynasty. But a lot of good games in week 0. We got Oregon going to Oregon State. I don't know if it's technically still called this, but the Civil War, as it was called when I was growing up. We got Missouri at Illinois, kind of one of those rivalries that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I feel like we don't really think of too much. Notre Dame and Florida State, and then a interstate Texas showdown between number 23 SMU and number 21 Baylor. For various reasons, I had to simulate the 2025 season in this game. So we are in 2026 in this Dynasty. The short way to explain why I had to do that is just on teambuilder. They give you a default roster, and while you are able to edit the players, you can't really change what positions they are. And I was hoping you could do that in Dynasty, but you cannot do it in season. You can only change positions during the position changes section of the off season. So I had to kind of regroup. Another reason I kind of got delayed, I wanted to get this going a little sooner than this, but glory to God, timing works out perfectly. We're getting this out right on time for week 1 of the actual college football season, hopefully catching people in the mood to watch some college football. We'll be getting it to you 7 days a week here on Rabbit Hole Sports and Media. So in between Saturdays, no need to wait. More college football if you want to watch here on the channel. So in the 2025 season results, the national champion, Penn State over Oklahoma. The conference champions in the Big Ten, we got Penn State, SEC, Georgia, Pac-12, SMU, Big 12, Iowa State. In the American, it was Memphis. And in the ACC, it was Kentucky. And if you were wondering why Kentucky is in the ACC, I think I kind of talked about that a little bit in the last version of the Dynasty. But we'll get more into that down the line, because on Instagram, I hope to be getting more active on posting and explaining some of the more intricate, finer details of how I aligned conferences and sort of my vision for how things play out. Because as much as I'm also building up SSU, I'm trying to find the proper dynamics for how to arrange college football to please all parties. And anyway, not to get too lost in the Heisman winner, Zachariah Branch, who is at Georgia this year. Week 0, we're taking on UCSB. In the last edition of the Dynasty, I consistently made sure they were very, very good. Not as good off the jump in this one, but again, I will be tweaking them as we go, making sure they stay a very consistent team. And they will consistently be better than this version of the team we will be playing today. In all likelihood, we'll see how they look when we actually get on the field. But a much more level playing field to start here. They were probably better than this, but again, I had to simulate a season, and I don't think they sustained their success. But they are running a veer and shoot offense, so wide splits. Good mix of 2x2 and 3x1 alignments. We'll get more into what all that means if that is something going over your head at the current moment. A lot of 11 personnel, but they will mix in 10 personnel, empty, split backs, and even one formation where they have tight splits. On defense, they run a 3-2-6, so speed over strength, a lot of odd fronts, and a lot of mugged linebackers to simulate odd looks. So with that being said, let's get into some football. SSU at UCSB. So here we go, back on the gridiron with Noma Nation. Against the UCSB Gauchos, week 0 on the road in Santa Barbara. You get a look at the new uniforms. Updated the uniforms this season to center more around the dark and powder blue instead of that kind of hybrid in-betweenish blue, I guess you would say, that we were primarily featuring last season, and really is kind of the primary color in the logo there if you see on the left-hand side. But from my experience being at Sonoma State, most of our athletics uniforms, which, total side note, but also part of the reason I like doing this Dynasty, Sonoma State athletics, no longer a thing. Only club sports at SSU, they cut all their actual NCAA athletic programs. So anyway, this is a fun way to kind of add to the SSU athletics culture, because I know there are a lot of people who love sports who both went to and currently go to Sonoma State. But we are underway. dark blue helmets, dark blue pants. It'll be the Gauchos with the ball first, taking it to the 17-yard line. I will be getting back to doing full game commentaries as well. I just forgot to turn off the in-game commentary for this game, and because of that, it would have just been way too difficult to figure out how to keep in the crowd noise and then commentate over the actual commentary in the game. So I will be getting back to that, but back-to-back sacks to start the season for SSU. That last one was by Steven Brents, who was the best recruit we got in the 2025 edition of the Dynasty. Maybe not in terms of ranking, but at least in terms of upside. Excited to have him back. Our first third down, we look to get a sweep to the outside. Not much going on. We would go for it on 4th and 3 here. That is Sua Chu. Actually, his name in this one is Tua Chung, because for some reason Sua Chu is viewed as bad language by EA Sports, and they would not let me use it in the team builder, even though that is a name they themselves came up with on the previous version of the game. I cannot explain that to you. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Absolutely crazy, but UCSB, their second possession on a drive here, 3rd and 5, and we are getting home again. 3 sacks in the opening quarter. That is KJ Coles, and it'll be the Gauchos kicking a field goal. 4th and 12 from the 30-yard line, 47-yard attempt. That baby is up and good, and we have points on the board in this first game of the season. Back on offense, we're going with a counter. This is Travion Hardman. He is going to pick up 9. First solid play of the game for the Sonoma State Seawolves. 5-yard loss there. Ended up punting the ball right back here on a quarterback keeper. Keep them from getting a first down. UCSB going to go for it on 4th down themselves here in the first quarter. Glad to see more aggression in going for it on 4th down from the CPU. First down there, but they would have to settle once again for a long field goal. This one from 53 yards out, and it is right down the middle. Kicker putting on clinic early, and the Gauchos take a 6-0 lead. And then here, not the design of the play, as you'll see what I mean here in a second. But I don't know, kind of cool how it ends up, not the result, we get 0 yards, but I don't know, really cool how that kind of played out. 3rd and 1, we're going to convert. That is Tyson Cameron going for the first down. Next play action on a sweep. Olsen up in the pocket. He's going to hit Matt Clancy, a name you might recognize from the 2 games I did get published from the final season in 2025. He was on the team for that last season, had some really nice moments that could potentially be seen if I do end up getting those highlights up for that final season. But we are going to get points on the board for the first time today. Make it 6-3. And this Gaucho offense right back to work. Using those wide splits, but running right up the middle. But this time, we are in the backfield. That is KJ Coles, his second time with a highlight play. Here we're going to shift. Started with that bunch into the boundary on the right-hand side, move it over to the left. And now we are going to shift out our tight end, Jalen Vick, another guy that is a familiar face, familiar name from the previous version. That is John Hill, pitching it out to Tyson Cameron, another familiar face. Set up a 3rd and inches. Ran a fake jet power out of that formation earlier. Go fake jet counter this time. Our second attempt on a 4th down. No dice. Pressure gets home. Did not pick up / identify the pressure coming from the Gauchos. Of course, if you go empty, only have 5 linemen set up to block, and they bring 6. 1 is unblocked. We got to recognize that and have someone who is called our hot receiver, someone we're going to if there is an unblocked rusher. But around the edge, the UCSB running game making some noise early, and they are in SSU territory yet again. A regular theme here in this first half as they go over the middle. Contested catch. Roderick Mann Jr. coming up injured, and it is going to set up UCSB with a goal-to-go situation. Not going to amount to a touchdown, though. SSU defense stepping up, making another hold, and it is now 9-3 Gauchos in this first half. Tried to go play action out of the flex bone there. Gets absolutely swallowed up for a sack. So we're going to put it back in the hands of Travion Hardman. Can't quite make a man miss, but we do pick up 9 yards, getting it to the outside. Set ourselves up with a 3rd and 3. Hardman once again, this time on an out route to the sideline. That is a Sonoma State first down. Here we're going to get it to Hardman again on a pitch. Able to outrun a man. Pick up 7. Set us up with a 3rd down and 5. Some interesting play calling from myself right there. Not going to get the first down. UCSB going to call a timeout, and they are going to try to add points before the half here, making a 2-score game. Currently leading by 6, looking to get it up to 9, if not more. On the ground, plenty of running room into SSU territory. The Gaucho run game coming early, but so is the SSU defensive line. We're really either getting tackles for loss or giving up explosives. But the Gauchos would go conservative after this. 4th field goal of the half. Further kicker really should have wrote down his name, but it is 12-3. UCSB leading it as we head to the halftime break. You see the numbers there. A defensive affair, and if you were following along for the 2025 version, one of my regular complaints is that it just felt like such a points vomit all the time. Glad to see that we're getting a little bit of a defensive game here, at least to start off. Go with the fake toss from Olsen. He gets sacked, so we're going to try an option. John Hill pitching it. Cameron swallowed up in the backfield. 3rd and 21, and here we're going to see elite football on display. Milo Westerman hit in the face, catching the ball. We don't do that at SSU, apparently. Going deep. We're in the vicinity. I don't know why my guy's not jumping towards the ball, but luckily we get a 2nd man over there to help break up the throw, and we are going to get possession back. Cameron up the middle on 1st down. Rumbling for a first. SSU looking to get him moving. Has not been a successful first half here. Hardman on the jet sweep. He's going to pick up about 10. We're going to go back to the same play from the same formation. This time get about 3 yards, but that is all we needed for a first. Hardman comes up injured. Going to go play action here from Olsen, and he's going to find Demetrius Young Jr., more of a hybrid receiver tight end. He's going to pick up a first down, really our first chunk throw of the game, and this time it is John Hill. We got 2 different quarterbacks playing today. He's going to find Jalen Vick. That is another solid chunk. That is going to take us inside the 10-yard line. Most significant drive of the game so far for the Seawolves. On the ground here, Cameron, he's going to find the end zone. A little power G, power football, how we like to play here at SSU. Roll the bone in the end zone. The Seawolves 12-9, 12-10 with the extra point, and this game is very much alive. The offense looked pretty dead, but back to life. Resurrection, praise the Lord. Loose, number 10. What are we doing on defense? Terrible angle from myself with Josh LeBorn. And just like that, one play, Gauchos with an answer. He's pointing to the crowd. He wants the noise. There they are. In Santa Barbara, back to a 2-score lead. Isaiah Best showing off the wheels right here, and I'm showing off terrible pursuit angles. Yikes. I don't know what else to say. That was just awful. Quick throw, Young Jr. That's a catch, first down. Trying to stay in rhythm. I will say that is one of my theories, I guess you would say, to my football philosophy, is when your offense is in rhythm, you want to keep them in rhythm. So, you know, as much as we would have preferred to get a stop, at least we're back on the field quick while we have some rhythm, and hopefully we can keep that going. Here we're going to shift from a 4x1 empty into a 2x2, and now over to a 3x1. A lot of movement, and we're just going to run power. Room for Hardman, breaking it to the outside. He's down near the 30-yard line, banged up yet again. That would be pretty much the last of him in the game today, but this is John Hill getting it to the outside, another first down. I've been choking on my words a few times because if you watched before I did the full game episodes in the last version of the Dynasty, this was a regular thing where I'm just kind of rapid fire trying to commentate these highlights. And there's got to be a better way to do it. My solution was to commentate the full games and then literally just take the highlights from the full games. But Nolan Knight, touchdown, another familiar face. He's in the end zone. Most impressive run of the day, I would say, in terms of our back creating the opportunity. Don't get me wrong, we get great blocking, but we will see it right here. Makes the man miss, makes a cut, makes another in the end zone. Seawolves, after being stonewalled for essentially 2.5 quarters, back-to-back touchdown drives, and will be getting the ball back again to start this fourth quarter. In the backfield, we were living in the backfield a lot on defense today. We have a pretty solid defensive line, very good top 3 corners. We're going deep. Jalen Vick, he's got it. Big time throw. This is Spencer Tyson up the middle. We got Tyson Cameron and Spencer Tyson. I may change that. I didn't realize I had used Tyson twice, so I may change it to Spencer Teague. Because he's supposed to be a hybrid of Spencer Strickland and Keontae Tyson, but maybe we'll make him a hybrid of Spencer Strickland and Cameron Teague, if you remember those names from the 2025 version. Dealing with the choppy Wi-Fi here. Way too aggressive. I actually was trying to throw to the drag and just confused what button they were, and I end up hitting RB instead of Y. But it is picked. UCSB maintains the lead, 19-17. Quick throw from Best. That is a pickup of 9. Going to set up a 3rd down and 1 here. He is going to try to escape out the back, and Steven Brent gets home again. Becoming a real nuisance for him off the play action. John Hill, I know and remember that play. I was spamming Y trying to throw it. I don't know why you have to go through that whole song and dance before you can throw off a play action. Seems a little excessive. I feel like when you watch in real life, you get guys faking the handoff and getting right into it. I think that should be something that's super hard to achieve. But not to complain too much. Defense gets us the ball back, still trailing by 2. 3rd and 5, we're going to keep it on the ground. Apparently that's a regular theme for us. It kind of is. In 4-down territory, I do not mind running on 3rd and 5. But we had one earlier in the 2-minute drill that was kind of odd. Hill on the keeper. Starting to incorporate a little more read option as we got later in this one. He gets a 1st down. Had a dude wide open in the flat, but we are going to take the corner route for a 1st down. Looking for the end zone. We're going to get a flag. We got some pass interference, and Noma knocking on the door. Had a chance to take the lead earlier. Ended up throwing an interception. On this occasion, what will we do? 1st and goal from the 1. Moving out Nolan Knight. We're going right up the middle with Jackson Gregory, the lone player who was an original on the 2025 team and is also on the 2026 team. Just such a good fullback / power back. I don't know. I call him a hinge back, and I'll get more into that as I start breaking down our offensive scheme on Instagram. I'll be doing some bits on that. Follow us at Rabbit Hole Sports if you want more info on that. On a 3rd and 8, Best taken off. He's got a nice game. He had over 100 yards rushing at this point in the game, 4 minutes to go. 3rd and 3, forced to throw it away. Pressure getting home again, and we got a real shot to close this game out. But Gregory in the backfield taken down there. Going to lead to a 2nd and 16, and we have the leverage, have the route. Ball ends up behind Travion Hardman, and it is an incomplete pass. And on 3rd and 16 here, I don't know if there was quite a better throw available. It was versus, we got Tampa 2 there. We had stick on. We probably could have taken the whole shot to the go on the right-hand side. I don't know. That would have been a bit risky, but would have been a makeable throw. Much more than the stick right there. Pressure gets home again. UCSB is going to fall on the fumble to maintain possession. Under 3 minutes to go. 2nd and 20. Best throwing to the sideline. That is a completion. Pickup of 16. My voice is getting tickly, man. It is dry it out right now. Moving around, trying to avoid a wide open guy downfield. Able to do it. Incomplete. Physical play from our defensive backs. Good to see. But on 4th down, UCSB going to stay alive. Pick up the 1st. Tried to go cover 0. Did not work. And they are going to keep it on the ground as the gameplay gets choppy here towards the end of the game. I apologize for that. I don't know what was going on with our internet. 3rd and 1. Keeper not going to get it another chance to get off the field on fourth, but instead it is going to be a Gaucho first down. Had hands on the back short of the first down. He fights through, picks up the first, over the middle. That is caught, and the Gauchos marching into the red zone, trying to mount a game-winning drive. Not so fast, though. Pressure gets home. Brents again, his third sack of the game. Josh LeBourne coming down, physical hit, but the ball is hung on to and set up a third down and 6. Snap away. Best trying to maneuver out. Pressure home yet again. 4th and 14. Game on the line. High throw. Knocked out. Pinero with the hit. And Noma Nation with a victory. Week 0 over the UCSB Gauchos. Down by as much as 9 in the game. Only put up 3 points in the first half. How about 3 touchdowns in the second half? Turned it around, stayed physical with the ground game, started to hit some throws down the field. It is the Seawolves getting in the victory column in, I was about to say week 1, but week 0, game 1. Stephen Brents, 3 tackles, 3 sacks. He is a beast. Very excited to see what he can do this year. I believe he's a junior. I forgot to check. He's either a junior or a senior. I'm pretty sure. Would be kind of astonished if he didn't transfer, but I also don't know what his deal breaker is, slash how that'll all work. But what a way to start off the 2026 version of the SSU Dynasty. You see the total stats there. Outgained him, outran him, and outthrew him. That is a good way of doing things. Just 3 of 17 on third down for UCSB. Really had their number on third down. Isaiah Best, solid on the ground, so-so through the air. Their run game was all right. It was really explosive early on, and then we were able to adjust and really started slowing things down. There you see the stats on defense for the Gauchos, not for us. They got home with 3 sacks. There you see the dual quarterbacks and what they were able to do. Plenty of guys getting a touch, getting to run the rock for the Seawolves. Plenty of guys making catches. That's what we like to see. Spreading the ball around, getting everyone involved, really emphasizing how much of a team effort it needs to be if you are a Mountain West or any group of 4 team looking to punch up. But we will see you next week as we host Fresno State.